November box has just arrived. Let me show you what's inside here. We've got a beautiful aubergine. This one's a huge variety. It's going to be really prolific, but it gets to like 1 metre tall. It's a lovely big size already, which is a great way to start. We've got basil here. Now it's quite a long one, so we're going to put this in and then we're going to nip the top out so it'll start going out the sides. We've got another we've got our cucumber here. This one's a climbing cucumber, so we're going to grow it up a trellis. And we've got a two massive big sunflowers. So I'm going to get everyone's just going to put this to wherever their garden they think it should go. But the reason we got the really big ones is that these have the big edible seed heads, so you'll be able to hopefully have a great harvest of sunflowers of this at the end. Great if you've got kids, because they just produce these lovely big sunflowers at the top. And then we've got we've got a capsicum, so looking forward to that. That's a lovely big red capsicum. And we've got our all of our lettuces and another basil here. Basil can go in there, and 3 different types of lettuces this week, so I'll go through those as we put them in the ground. Lovely. So last week I juiced up this garden with some more worm juice, and I put a little bit of blood and bone on here, and then I covered it with mulch. And now I've just scraped that mulch layer off. I'm going to just give the soil a little bit of an aeration, and you can see there's heaps have come in really close. There's some lots and lots of worms in here, so this is great, in great condition. We're just going to loosen up and aerate the soil a little bit like this, and you only really need to loosen up the top layer. As you can see, I'm getting little peas off my mulch, but I'm just going to take those out. Right, so that's all ready to go. Now we've got 4 different types of lettuces, and we've got one lettuce that is still in here. I've been harvesting little bits off the side of it. I'm going to keep it a little bit away from the side. I'm going to let this whole lettuce head up over the next 2-3 weeks. They should be ready to start harvesting in 2 or 3 weeks. And there we go. 1, 2. Lovely variety of lettuces, which is going to be great for your salads. And over here. And last one, 4 lettuces here. There's the 4th one here. Oh, I've got the middle section of the plastic bit under there. There we go. And so then I'm going to put our basil. This basil plant is going to get reasonably large, so I'm going to put it into the middle here so that it gets the most of this. And you can plant it up to sort of the first, plant the first part of the stem in there so that it bulks up. And then I'm going to go right to the middle, and I'm going to put my capsicum in so that it can take over the whole middle space. And I want the capsicum to get lots of sun and lots of water. So I'll put my capsicum in the middle there, nice and firmly in there like that. And then I'm going to surround it with mulch and keep it nice and watered. Mind you, we don't need much water at the moment. It's been absolutely hosing down. So I'm just going to put this mulch layer back over on all my plants here. And all of these bags can go straight into your compost bin or into your worm farm. And there we go. So those are the ones that are going to go in under my hood here, because they will, well, actually this one will get pretty tall, but I think it'll still be alright as long as I have it right in the middle. That's our capsicum. And the basil will get nice and bushy. It'll go about this big. I've got one more capsicum to put in there. And the other 2 I'm going to put in pots down here. Here's our cucumber. Now this one really does like a bit of staking, so it's good to keep them off the ground so they don't get as many pests when they're on the ground. And so I'm going to keep it under this hood, but I'm going to stake it so that it's going to grow sort of around a stake here, so it's going to take up quite a bit of this space, but it won't go up really high. You don't need to send them up really high. You can keep them low as long as you've sort of staked them around. So I'll be showing you how to do that over the next week or two. Right now it can just get into there and start getting established, and then we can stake it later. So these are our beautiful big sunflowers, and this one's dried out a little bit on the trip. So what I've done here is I've prepared some water in a bucket, and I've put some worm juice in here. If you've got a little bit of liquid fertilizer, don't just make sure it's like the consistency, the color of tea, and don't make it too strong. And then I'm just going to soak it in there so they can make doubly sure that it's just being really beautifully rehydrated before it goes into the ground. So soak those for a couple of minutes and then put them in. I've got another one that there's my another couple that I'm going to sit into there, let them soak before they go in. All right, so now our sunflower is going to need a little bit of staking at the start because it grows really tall before, and then it'll thicken up, like those stalks really thicken up. They take up a little bit of space, so I'm going to put one into this bag. This is the bag that I had prepared. I had my peas in last time and it was only half full. Now I've just topped it up with garden soil, and I've added a little bit of blood and bone. I'm just going to put that into there, and it'll be ready to go, and I'm going to put a stake beside that so it'll go nice and big, and I'm going to put the other one of those into another part of my flower garden. So if you've got anywhere in the corner of your garden that's going to get loves full sun, grow it up. A fence is really good as well. Have it poking over so the neighbors can see it. That one's going to be great. And the other one I'm going to, which is this aubergine. Now I've never grown an aubergine in a pot before, but these pots are lovely and big, so it should be no problem at all, and it'll mean that it gets maximum sun, and hopefully really good protection, because I can keep it in a really good spot. It doesn't like getting a lot of wind, so just make sure that you're out of a windy section, and having a windy spot and having a pot sometimes makes that nice and versatile to be able to do that. All right, so that one's in there ready to go, and the other one's going to go in my garden, and I think that's everything. I'm super excited about these. You can see over here, come over here, we can see we're going to have our first courgette coming really soon. There it is. So another couple of days and I'll be able to pull that one off. See how you can, that it's starting to lean over a bit, so I'm going to just adjust that stake so that it keeps growing up. And that's it for this week. Enjoy your plants, and we'll see you next week.